Hello and welcome, everyone. I hope you had a fabulous holiday and I hope that you're doing very, very well. I hope you've been harmonizing and introducing family to the wonders of quantum biofeedback. This is Dr. Ariel Policano. It is my great pleasure each week to bring you this free community class for the Genius Insight quantum biofeedback software. And it really is amazing that we have such wonderful software, but what makes it really special is the community. And so we have Facebook groups and we have this class and we have the ability for people to connect and talk about cases and even come together every week so we can do demonstrations. And I just want to say how thankful I am for each and every one of you. I really appreciate, I know so many of you personally, and it's really a pleasure to see what you're doing with the Genius and how you're bringing it to the people around you. Some of you use it exclusively for yourself, some of you for yourself and your family, and some of you are practitioners and just doing amazing things. We're going to be showcasing a lot of that at the Energy Medicine Summit. We're going to be talking to practitioners and users of the Genius to find out what they are doing with the Genius Insight. So if you have something wonderful to share that you feel is important, let me know right away. And we'll see if we can find a sort of a mini spot somewhere in between the cracks there to get you included, because we do have wonderful people that are joining us for the Energy Medicine Summit, which happens very soon on December 12th and December 13th. I think many of you have signed up for that, and I'm just so grateful that you're going to be a part of that. Over Thanksgiving weekend, and I hope you had a wonderful Thanksgiving holiday, we sent out the Black Friday specials, and some of you are still trickling in and checking your email after being away for the holidays or with family. And I want you to let you know that that's not a problem at all. You can still go to that Black Friday email and you can get the success panels, which are shown here. So this was a giveaway. It's a complete system of testing and harmonizing with affirmations and energetics and some really fun symbols. And you can still get this, so just go to the website and you can just check out at the website and you can get this, and I will export to you the 6 panels and you'll get the guide as well. So just do that anytime today when you have a moment. You will definitely be able to get that. We have some really wonderful Cyber Monday specials, especially in the area of education. So if you've ever wanted a certificate for doing the training, we have the level 1 and level 2 training available with the certificates. And that will help you immensely. It's not just to show people that you know that you have core competencies, which is what your certificate says. It's also for you, because these classes help you to learn strategies and protocols that are not available in the basic training. Now, many of my students are here who have taken the training, and I want to thank you for being part of that training. If you've never taken the training, this is a wonderful time for you to get that training. It's completely downloadable. It's available for you to go at your own pace. So it's at a great price. So I really want to encourage you, if you're able to do it, at least do level 1, because these strategies and protocols can help you whether you're going to make it a business or if you're just going to do it for yourself and your family. It will help you immensely. So I just want to really recommend that. And we also have level 2 available, which is healing chronic cases. By the way, in level 1, we do go over some of the more popular things that clients ask for, such as how to do food allergy desensitizing and harmonizing. You guys could run your entire practice just on a practice if you didn't want to do anything else of helping people to understand food allergies and helping them to clear them out with the Genius. So even if you just got this class on Cyber Monday just to learn the food allergy protocol, you could earn back the investment that you made in the Genius. There's so many people. It's such a incredible thing to be able to do it without someone having to do the whole lab kit and so forth to do the energetics. And we don't say that it's a diagnosis. We wouldn't say that it's a medical test. We would say it's an energetic test. However, it's really very likely that biofeedback gets more information than even a food allergy test because it can go to a much deeper level. It can go to all the different aspects of the food, not just the gluten protein, but all the different things within the food that might make it not resonate with that person's energy field. So that's really, really important training, and you can help people to desensitize. And there are certain foods, as we teach in the course, that they will be able to consume. They'll actually be able to consume. You see, food allergies happen in an escalating way. So you have one food allergy today, and then you have leaky gut, and then you have more inflammation, and then you have 3 food allergies tomorrow, and then you have more leaky gut, and then you have more inflammation, and then you have 6 allergies, and then 9, and it just goes up from there. So what's really amazing about the class is that it can help to reverse that process. So that's really, again, if you only did one thing and you just did the flower essences, the emotions, and the food sensitivities, you would be doing more than most people's, personal physician. It's a really great protocol to learn. And it comes with all the forms to fill out, everything that you need to complete. And you can just give that person that form and say, these were the food sensitivities that we tested. These are the ones that we cleared. And these are the flower essences that we ran for you today. And this is the meaning of the flower essence. What I did on that sheet is I made it extremely easy for people to just take a highlighter and just highlight the results that you got for them on that day. And you're good to go. So yeah, so you just, it's really, really easy. In fact, you could do that at a trade show. It's so easy. You could just print off a bunch of those blank forms and take them to a trade show, and you're totally good to go. And we cover brand development and how to get your website up, how to talk about biofeedback, more success and abundance and prosperity information. And we talk about how to work with cancer and how to talk about cancer. So that's really, really important, you guys. Again, every single person on here probably knows somebody with cancer, and we never ever say that we're treating cancer. We never say that we're healing cancer. We never say we would have a cure for cancer. So you want to know how to talk about cancer and biofeedback. That's really, really important. One of the reasons that we do these courses is to keep biofeedback on the safe side of the street. We really want the people who are going out there and practicing to know what to say and to know how to talk about this technology. And so if you are going to do any sessions beyond just yourself, please get some training. That's really, really important. And that's why I put these classes together, so you know exactly how to describe biofeedback in a way that makes sense, doesn't sound crazy woo-woo, and also doesn't promise them the moon. It tells them, explains exactly what the technology is capable and exactly what it does not do. And when you do that and you talk about harmonizing cancer, then nobody can take you to task for that because you didn't say you were curing it. You said you're transmitting energetic information, and you're creating harmony, and you're reducing stress. And that will always keep you in a safe space, and it'll keep all of us together collectively in a safe space. And that's really important. We don't want our ability to practice this wonderful technology to be threatened in any way. We want to keep really good energy around it. So thank you all for striving to be professional. Thank you. I really appreciate it. And everybody I know that I've trained has gone out there and really acted as a professional and therefore elevated what we are doing. So I want to sincerely thank you, my practitioners who have gone through the training. And we talk about addictions. What I tried to do in this first practitioner class is hit the highest and most popular things that you're going to be dealing with. So addiction, cancer, food allergies, balancing the brain, including the brain protocol, and dealing with autism. So those were some of the top things that people found that they were doing on a regular basis. So if you've thought about getting the training all year, it is available at the Cyber Monday special. So please check that out or let friends know about it if they have not gone through the training. You do get a certificate that indicates that you have the core competencies to be a biofeedback practitioner. There is a Healing Chronic Cases is on here, and don't worry, you guys, we're going to get to our cases, our live cases. I just want you guys to know about it. There's a Biofeedback Practitioner 1 and 2. If you want to do both of these, contact me and I'll give you a special combination price. Some of you have already done one, and they are available at a huge savings for Cyber Monday. But this is about specifically working with the cases. People who come in, you guys, and you guys are going to get them all the time, who come in and they say, please help me. I've tried everything. I've been to every doctor. I've been to every chiropractor. I've been to every nutritionist. I don't know what to do. And that is what we address in this particular class. It's called Healing Chronic Conditions, and it deals with a deeper level with cancer, but with any chronic illness. And we talk about what the blocks to healing. If that's the biggest head scratcher for you, you know that you're a healer. You just sit there and you wonder, gosh, my goodness, what would help this person to heal? What is the block there that they have been through so many things and they can't get better? They've been given the best medicine. They've been given the best natural medicine. And that's what this particular class addresses, the reasons for people to not be able to heal their chronic illness. And we just break through that. And the good thing is that biofeedback is uniquely able to deal with people on a mental, physical, emotional, and spiritual level all at the same time. That's why we have that main hold tray. I mean, everything together. And you guys, it's unrealistic to think that you can treat one part of the person. You must treat the whole person. And the amazing thing is with biofeedback is that anyone can do it if they take some time to get training and they have a sincere desire to help other people. And I do believe that this is the truth about healing, is that it should be able to be done by any layperson. And you should be able to do it for your family, and you should be able to do it for yourself, and you should be able to do it for the people around you. And it should not cost you $200,000 to do medical education. It's only available to certain people and so forth. And I think this is the truth of the universe that's being revealed in biofeedback, that with a little bit of training and a sincere desire to help other people, you can learn this and you can create miracles. So definitely check out these trainings. It's Cyber Monday for training, education, and there's some wonderful programs available. Go to the Cyber Monday and you can see we have the Natural Health Mastery training, the Endocrine Regeneration for hormones, the Cellular Freedom Technique for emotional freedom. We do have a new program, which is the Young Living Essential Oils on Points. And we have it on special today, and we're going to be doing some more education. Kelly's going to be joining me, who actually prepared these points. And these are the Carolyn Mine points that she tested for. So if you've ever seen the system, they're actually all now programmed into the Genius 250 frequencies. And we're going to play with this a little bit today, but Kelly, as many of you know from San Diego, she has been getting incredible results. Out of the 250 items that she tests, the very top one, say awaken on the bone marrow point or the awaken on the sacral point, there's something about the combination of the oil and the precise point that makes a profound difference. So we have put all 250 combinations of Carolyn Mine's testing of the oil on the point. And then you just press a button and it says out of the 250 oils, which one on which point is right for this person. So it's an incredible system, and it seems to be a vehicle to miracles. So when we get Kelly back from vacation, we're going to do some training on this and talk more about how it works, why it works, and how she has been able to keep her kids. The kid has a severe back injury from a trampoline, or the kid almost has a concussion, and she's able to bring her kids back to a place of balance and a place of feeling like the issue never happened through using these young living essential oils on these particular points. So please do check out the Cyber Monday specials. Let me know if you have any questions about them. I think you'll find one or two that will really benefit you for the coming year, and it'll be a great savings to get them during Cyber Monday. Well, I want to really welcome a new user to the Genius, which is Donna, and I think Donna is here, and I know she has some limited time today. So Donna, a warm welcome to you, and we're going to work with her. Oh, maybe she's not on here. Welcome Edna, and Judith is here. Welcome Carol Ann. We worked on you last time. Welcome Susan from the United Kingdom. Welcome Sarita from Los Angeles. Really nice. Ruben is here. Fran is here. Really, really good to have everybody joining us. Well, let's talk about this case. We're going to do some brain testing, and Donna just joined us by getting the Practitioner Upgraded Plus. So I don't think we're going to have her live voice, but we do have her picture. All right, so let's get started with that. Now, if you would like a scan and you would like to volunteer, or you have a client there that wants to volunteer, then please let me know. Deanna, if you're there and you're able to talk, I'd actually like to share with actually our group what you've been up to and what your plan is moving forward. So do you think would you be okay talking about that? Because I think people would absolutely love to hear what you've been up to and would really benefit from it. So is it okay if we have you share some of that right now? I'm probably just going to unmute you anyway, and we'll talk about that, see if you're around. So Deanna's been doing some demonstrations, doing some aura readings with the Genius, and she's been having some spectacular results, and she has a plan moving forward for 2019. So let's see if she's actually available. Maybe she might be multitasking. So we'll see if we can talk to her. If you're able to unmute yourself, let me know. Oh, hey, Deanna,
Hello.
Are you there?
Hello.
Hi, can you hear me?
I can.
How are you?
I'm fabulous.
Well, tell us. I know people will love to hear what you've been up to.
Well, I have been doing aura readings at the health food store
With the Genius.
with the Genius. And the first time I did it, I saw 12 people in 5 hours, and
Wow.
4 people left with the Genius trial, and 3 people left with appointments to see me in my office for an adductor biofeedback session.
So you got new clients all over the place.
Yes. It's very good.
That
So
that is amazing. You have a wonderful way with people too. So that I know is part of it. But also just you were so smart about the way that you gave people an introduction and an aura. Did you find that an aura was too out there for people, or did you find that most people were engaged and understood the concept?
most people were engaged and very excited to have it done.
I love
And
it. Oh my gosh, that's
and you know,
awesome.
it was so I just took your descriptions out of the manual and copy and pasted those into my letterhead. And I really even didn't do readings because that's just not my forte. But what
Oh,
I
so you
realized,
just read them the meanings of it.
I did. But
Mm.
what I realized is, there's no description for gray.
Mm-hmm.
And my intuition said to me, the gray is EMFs.
Well, it's definitely
And
some type of
so
interference. So I think you're right.
I am
You're onto
taking
something.
I'm just taking an EMF class right now.
Mm-hmm.
And with what I've
Oh,
learned in a few
are you on
weeks.
a headset? Can you go back to the
Yeah.
other phone that you were on? You're coming in kind of scratchy.
Oh,
You were perfect. The first sound that we heard was perfect.
okay. Can you hear me now?
That's much better. Yeah. So tell us about the EMFs and what you were thinking.
So I've been learning about EMFs, and I thought, I'm just going to start talking about what I know. So I have several orders in line to get them some EMF protection for their phone. And I've got a way to order through Hannah Kroger. She has a computer pillow, so I've got a bunch of orders for those. So I was able to sell some product because of the EMF readings. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah, you could always use it to support, supplementation, but you have to be very careful with things like you're better with EMF stuff because then you're not seen as practicing medicine. So you have to be rather careful that nobody sees you as actually recommending supplements. But what's your plan moving forward? What's your business plan around the Genius?
Okay, so I'm an eductor biofeedback practitioner, and that is my mainstay. I've helped thousands of people through that modality. Now, adding in the Genius, it was kind of tricky. I didn't quite know where it fit in until I started doing the aura readings. Well, then through the aura readings, I decided that I need to start utilizing the Quanta capsule. So I have
How did
about
you make that? Why did you make those two? Why did those two things connect up? The Quanta capsule allows you to send frequencies directly to your client's phone or a tablet where they can play the selected frequencies, only the ones that you've selected for themselves. And why did the aura sort of make that connection for you?
I realized that people really need daily biofeedback. And to do daily biofeedback with the eductor is too costly. And I'm all about helping people. I'm not about, getting rich, which I absolutely could get rich doing this business, but it's just, I'm in it for the love.
Yeah.
So I have many people that go through my 10-session detox protocol, and to get them to sign up for another 10 has been challenging. So my thought process went to, well, if I could turn them on to the Quanta capsule, they could do daily biofeedback for the next 10 weeks. And so once a week, I'm sending them their frequencies, and they're still connected to me and connected to my business. And I've got 5 people on doing this right now with me, and they're all having really good results.
That is awesome. Yeah, well, we definitely have recommended that because the key to biofeedback is repetition and really in training the frequencies into the energy field over and over and over. It's just like saying a mantra over and over. It has to get in the groove of your system. So this is a wonderful way to keep people very engaged. They're going to be excited to know what the next frequencies are that they're getting, and it frees up your time tremendously so that you can actually do what you're good at. So your time is invested in finding the right frequencies for them because you're an expert at that. And their job is to do sort of the heavy lifting of just hitting that button and receiving the frequencies.
Correct. And
I mean,
and
that was
really,
always our vision behind the Quanta capsule, and you totally got it. You sort of hooked into it in a way that serves you and really serves your client, and I think that's absolutely brilliant. I mean, you should really be commended for that.
thank you. Yeah, I just moved one of my clients who's had 18 eductor sessions, and his wife said, "I'm ready. I think he's ready to move into a Quanta capsule."
Mm.
And I was like, fascinating. So
Mm.
I took his last 2 paid sessions and got him the Quanta capsule for one of those sessions, and then he's getting 2 weeks of frequency sent, and he'll do another 10 weeks for sure.
And there are lots of ways to market that. There are lots of ways to charge them in advance for all the sessions and give them a discount and include the Quanta
Absolutely.
capsule as a gift. So let's say that it was, $75 a session and you're going to do 10 sessions, so that'd be $750. You give it to them, say, for $597, which is a significant discount. I'm not saying to do exactly these numbers, but it's just an example. They get a significant discount and you give them the capsule for free. which you pay for
Yep.
them. The reason you do that is because once somebody pays in advance, and you could do this even if they break it into payments, you could even make it appealing to them. But once they pay in advance, then they're committed. They're not going to think about in 3 weeks, oh, I don't want to come back for more sessions. Like, they're really committed to doing the whole series. And you can also be more committed to them, but you're also taken care of financially. And you have to make sure that your business can make money. So that's a good business decision.
Yes.
Yeah, we talk about that actually in the practitioner program. I know you did the practitioner program, right?
I'm right. I'm still doing it.
Okay. So you're still but you've done maybe some of the sessions where I've talked about that. Although you're a seasoned practitioner, you would have come up with a lot of those business ideas yourself, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
Anything else that you want to share with us about observations of using the genius, or anything else you want people in the community to know?
Well, I found that I had a client call me, and she was having a pain, and I intuited that it was gallbladder, and I loaded up the Genius for her, and sure enough, it was the gallbladder. And within 30 minutes, her pain was gone, and that was 3 months ago, and it's never come back.
Hmm.
And that was just remotely. And so I was fascinated by that. Headaches in real time headaches within the course of 20 minutes, the headache was gone. I mean,
Hmm.
I just I tell you, it's genius.
It works. It really works. When you use
It
it
really
and you
works.
use practice, you see that it works. And I know actually, Carol from the UK is here. Carol, welcome, and thanks for being. I know it's late in the evening there, and she uses the capsules quite a lot too. So you guys are really the pioneers on the leading edge implementing these capsules, and I really greatly appreciate both of you doing this good work.
It just makes good sense.
And Deanna, you're
Uh,
going to be on our summit, so I know people are going to be excited to hear more cases and things that you're doing on the summit. So thank you for doing everything that you're doing.
you're welcome.
All right, have a good day.
Thanks.
All right, that's fantastic. Really inspiring. Wow, she's doing such good work. It's really exciting. I want to see if Kelly, if you feel you're with it enough, you might be running around, Kelly. So let me know if it's not going to work for this morning. I'd love to just hear a little bit perspective about the oils on points to kind of introduce and do a little teaser for people. We are going to be doing more education. Kelly's also going to be at the summit. These are real people who are out in the world using the genius. So these are real folks giving us their real results, and that's always extremely exciting. So Kelly, let me know if you're up for that. And we're working on Donna. Donna, you can see we had her picture. She has some brain stuff going on, and we can see some stuff going on with her brain. One thing that would be really, really good as Donna maybe watches the recording is this brain-derived neurotrophic factor can be enhanced through exercise. So usually high intensity intervals, so quick sprints or at least a quick brisk walk, inverted postures, a little bit of yoga, some cycling, anything that you can do, you've got to get more bursts of oxygen to the brain to really get this. BDNF helps with memory, and that's one of the things that she was having an issue with. So that brain-derived neurotrophic factor. There also are some supplements that can help with brain-derived neurotrophic factor, like huperzine A in some of the supplements. But the really important thing to do is if you're not getting exercise is to get more exercise instead of just taking a supplement. Also, we have the mitochondrial rejuvenation program. And so the mitochondria are not powering up what they could be. And one supplement that is good for the mitochondria is carnosine. Carnosine is an amazing anti-aging, miraculous anti-aging amino acid, carnosine, and that could be very good here as well. Sort of a shooting from the hip thing that you can use for your brain is good old ginkgo biloba. It's really tried and true and trusted. So if you want to get really fancy, you can use one called vinpocetine. Vinpocetine, which is an Ayurvedic herb. Ayurvedic, it's also known as periwinkle. So vinpocetine, but both of those things, I would use them morning, noon, and night, both with the Genius, which we'll look at the brain solutions in just a moment. We have brain solutions and I think brain treatment. I always get them confused. This is more the lifestyle things. that you can do, and then we'll look at brain treatment. So nutrition means that the person's might be either not getting good nutrition or they're not assimilating the nutrition. And then we've got hormones are affecting the brain. So this is a gal who is postmenopausal. Digestion is affecting the brain. Electromagnetic frequencies, emotional stress. But boy, you got a whole sort of wow, you got a great reading or a great read on what's going on with her. So you could see some lifestyle things you could correct right away for the brain. Green tea is, cancer preventive, good for the thyroid and the parathyroid, and very, very good for the brain, those catechins in the green tea. And what this is telling us is that of all the remedies we could test, that green tea is one of the best, as well as whatever's at the bottom in blue. So some DHA, and there's that huperzine A, as you see I mentioned before, which is very good for the brain-derived neurotrophic factor. I can't say enough good things about alpha lipoic acid. I don't talk about it enough, but it's a really good one to have in your rotation. Alpha lipoic acid is a very important protector of the vessels and very good for the health of the brain, sort of protects it like in an antioxidant way. And then L-theanine is a constituent of green tea, and that's very good for focus. If you know someone who has ADD, even adult ADD, if it's hard for you to sit down and read something and focus for more than 2 minutes, look for L-theanine, which is a derivative of green tea, a constituent in green tea. You can have the green tea, but you'll really do well if you're trying to take an exam or write a paper or something. Take a couple capsules of L-theanine and you can focus so much better. So I think that's really some things that can really help with the brain. I think that's part of what's going on here is we need more exercise. We need to minimize the EMFs. If we go back to the brain solutions, we saw some food allergies. Here's the need for intensive exercise. And there's the hormones, digestion, the EMF, the emotional stress. We didn't get to peek at the aura. Let's go ahead and do that. So the main thing, Donna just got the Genius and she wants to use it. She wants to become a practitioner. She got the practitioner program. She wants to work on herself for the brain. So she's going to go back and review this and learn more about how to work with the brain with the Genius. That's one of the things that she wanted to work on. Now, Deanna mentioned the gray. I don't think the gray is only electromagnetic frequencies, you guys. I think that the gray is physical ailment, density, stuck energy, stagnation. Those things could all be associated with the gray. So when you have gray in the aura, we do want to see it move out of the aura. Got this beautiful heart connection, emerald energy that looks good. And this may be liver and digestion energy down here. So let's see if we can clear some of that out. Remember to always include your flower essences in every single session that you're doing, because the flower essences really are movers and shakers of the energy. They can help to really clear things out a lot faster. Ooh, and she's got a lot of flower essences that want to come and play with her. So always include your flower essences. You don't have to include every red, but you should include the top red and then a few bottoms of the blue. Wow, almost every flower essence. So what this tells us is there's a lot of emotional tumult going on. There's a lot of emotional and there's a lot of connection between the physical things like going on with the brain and emotional stress. And so really the flower essences should be balanced probably every day for 30 days for Donna. This would be very, very good for her and would show some results very, very quickly for her. So this would be very, very beneficial. Remember that all of the flower essences are defined clearly in your mastery guide. So keep that mastery guide handy, guys. It isn't really for you to read it overnight, although the first part of it you should read, but it's really for you to go back again and again and begin to learn these. Some things you'll begin to remember and you'll become an expert in these. So impatience is right. It's a little bit, impatience is a bit like it sounds. It's those who are quick in thought and action and who wish all things to be done without hesitation or delay. When ill, they're anxious for hasty recovery. They think that they find it very difficult to be patient with people who are slow, as they consider it wrong and a waste of time, and they will endeavor to make such people quicker in all ways. Will be really funny to find out if that's something that she is dealing with or thinking about. And then we've got L4, so it looks like there's a spinal issue. Keeping the spine mobilized, you guys, is really important. She had a lot of spinal stuff, stretching every day, doing even a minimal amount of yoga can make a huge difference. You can hear the genius running in the background here. Then white chestnut. White chestnut is for unwanted thoughts and mental arguments. Okay, for those who cannot prevent the thoughts, ideas, and arguments which they do not desire from entering their minds. So there might be something that she's struggling with or battling with. Oh, hang on, you guys. You know what? I had to turn off the audio because the audio was interfering with the audio was interfering. Can you guys hear me? Sound check. Can you guys hear me okay? The audio from the Genius was interfering with the audio from the webinar. So hopefully that's okay. All right. So white chestnut we talked about, and then there was one more. Let's look at that, which is gorse. And let's look at gorse and see what's going on with gorse. Gorse is hopelessness and despair. I kind of felt an element of that from talking to Donna the other day when she was getting ready to use the Genius and getting really excited about it. But I also felt like there was a little bit of hopelessness, which hopefully will dissolve. I feel like one of the wonderful things about biofeedback is it really helps to have hope. There's always something, you can always know information. You're never going to hear, oh, we don't know what's going on. You're always going to know something. And you also are always going to be able to do something. So that is really, really, really exciting. So Gorse is very great hopelessness. They've given up the belief that more can be done for them. Under persuasion or to please others, they may try different treatments, and at the same time assuring those around them that there is so little hope of relief. So Gorse actually restores light. Goals unattained can sometimes lead to stagnation of and feelings of sadness or depression, and Gorse helps to lift this. So remember that the flower essence isn't just the issue, it's also like the door that helps you to, not escape, but it helps you to get work through the issue. It helps you to go on the other side of the issue. So the neurotransmitters, I always say that. The flower essences are so powerful for this reason. So what I see from this case is a case of long-term emotional stress, mental stress that has sort of worn Donna down a little bit, which is affecting her brain. Long-term stress will affect your hippocampus, and it can cause atrophy of the parts of the hippocampus. So you want to make sure you manage your stress well. We did see the hippocampal stress when we tested the brain as I was talking to Deanna. So for her, working on the flower essences, working on her spinal energy, and doing things to create stress reduction on a regular basis would be very, very helpful. And if she meditated between 5 and 10 minutes a day and then ran the Genius at the same time she's doing her meditation, that would be a home run. That would be incredibly, incredibly helpful. So in just a short amount of time, we can find out so very, very much about what's going on with someone. It's absolutely amazing. So with that, let me see if I can, Kelly, it looks like you're on twice, so I'm not sure if I can unmute you on the right one, but let me see if we can find out more about the oils on the points and talk to you about those. And I'm going to have to bring it up on another device because my panel is on another device. But okay, let's unmute you here and see if we can. I don't know if we can get any sound. Oh, Kelly, are you there?
Yes, can you hear me?
Uh, Clear as a bell.
Oh,
Okay, well, I'm really excited. We're going to do more training, but I didn't want to miss the opportunity of Cyber Monday to just really. I knew we'd have a good audience. I knew people were probably home, and they'd be excited to hear about it. So tell us, give us the download on the points on oils.
uh, oh my gosh. I cannot say enough about Carolyn Mine's work. And so my situation is I had a my youngest child almost died at 2 months old, our regular medical system could not figure out at all anything that was wrong. We almost lost him. And I thought, and as I stood there and watched his veins collapse, I was like, I have to figure this out myself. So this was about a 5-year journey. We were in Chicago, moved to California, ended up at a doctor, absolutely brilliant doctor who was written up in Oprah magazine. She could fix anything through NET, which was emotion removal. And we were spending 10 to 15,000 a year. It was so effective. We were spending 10 to 15,000 a year. And so when I saw the Genius, all I could think when I sat at her office is, I need to figure out how to do this myself. And so the Genius was the first step. And there's so many things that you can do through the Genius. The first time I started running it, I could literally feel it moving my lower gut and intestines. And then when Carolyn Mine training came along, I was like, okay, I think if I combine Carolyn Mine's book, anyone that knows Carolyn Mine, it's a book that has literally hundreds of points on it. Young Living Oils on Points. But you look at the book and you think, well, which one do I need? And I knew when I saw Carolyn's work that it was exactly what this particular doctor was doing. So I took that entire book and entered each oil on point, started using it, and it literally addressed everything. When I combined that with the Bach flower, put it into the Progressive Insights, 80 to 90% of the time, one of Carolyn's oils on points will come up. I run it for a minute and it will literally shift anything.
Tell us a couple of times that it did shift. Like, tell us, I think about Anna's mom.
Oh yeah. So a friend of mine that uses Young Living that I met at one of the raindrop technique, I had told her about the Genius when we were there, and she was like, that's the craziest thing I've ever heard. And then a year later, she called me and it was like 7 o'clock on a Monday. She goes, Kelly, my mom is going to die today. I need your help. And I was like, I'm not a doctor. But when someone calls you with something like that, I was like, oh, okay, I'll try. So we literally just started running the Genius and looked at exactly what she needed, used Carolyn Mine's oils on point. And if Anna had the oils, she would physically use them on the point. But it's not realistic that everyone has every single oil all the time. So if she did not have it,
the precise energy of the oil combined with the point,
yes.
And that you actually sent that to her long distance. Is that correct?
Well, so that was actually, I knew at that point, this was a couple years ago, I'd been told that you could run the frequency long distance and not use the physical product, but I'm a very physical, I was like, okay, I'll just try it. And I'm in San Diego, she's in LA, and Anna would look at me and she'd go, Kelly, my mom is feeling so much. I mean, we just took layer after layer after layer after layer between Friday and Monday. We took her from going.
What do you mean you took layer after layer? You would do a point and then you do another point?
Yes. So what I find is, because I've worked with the doctor, some of these absolutely brilliant doctors, what I've learned is, and this is the key to the Genius, is that you don't need 50 remedies. You just need the tip of the pyramid. And when you hit the tip of the pyramid, everything else goes in line. Mm-hmm. So with the Genius, you can literally put everything into Progressive Insights, and whatever comes out on top, and a lot of times it's a real surprise as to what comes out on top. I run that for a minute and there's usually a huge shift. Now, in someone in a case like that where someone is hanging by a thread, we kept going back and doing that time after time, because that one point will make a shift. So then you back out, come back.
Now, how do you know if that point has, now this is going to be for Sophie's mother who's in the hospital and really trying to fight through a difficult time. I know that Sophie would be okay. She's given us permission to talk about her mom, has an infection. It's interesting here at the bottom. it came up purification on the bacteria point. Do you have any thoughts about that
Oh,
one?
yeah, that's huge. Yes, yes. So that when you, I can honestly say using these points, I can go from full on. I have 3 kids, so we're constantly getting hit with something. I can take my kids can be home, like they can wake up in the morning and say, Mom, I don't feel good. I can't go to school today. And I will literally run it. And if it's something like something, I think you said she's been in the hospital and there, I had talked to Sophie and there's been maybe some staph or strep or something. Um, that point will literally, you can see the infection in the genius. The doctors will identify it, but you can literally clear it within seconds.
Wow.
And it's my comparison. This is I'm not a medical doctor, but my comparison is that when these points are blocked, it's like a door is closed, and whatever the pathogen is just builds up and it festers and it wreaks havoc on whatever's going on. And when you open up that point, it becomes like a slip and slide, and whatever it is can't hold on and just moves through. And
Oh
it's
my
instant. It's absolutely instant. And and you can feel it immediately. You have to change the way you think. In fact, as we were flying home from Hawaii last night, my 15-year-old, who's Ariel knows he can be a little bit difficult. He was joking around. He's like, "Yeah, my mom's doctor is her phone."
That's
And
hilarious.
and
That's pretty funny.
yeah, it is. And I literally, when we own property, and when we are at one of our properties, we work 18 to 20-hour days, and I can do that because I can literally shift anything, any exhaustion, anything within seconds by using those Carolyn. I typically combine Carolyn mine and the Bach flower, and one of those two will always come up on top.
So, okay, so when you have everything else in there, you do find that the oil on point comes up at the top, indicating that that's really resonating for that person. Now, I've got magnify your purpose on the skin point. What would I do here? Would I just tap that one, or would I hit select all? Would I run that one for 1 minute and then look for the next one? What do you recommend?
Yeah, what I typically do, I don't think I have your screen up right now. What I will typically do is look at it, and I will run that magnify your purpose on skin point for 1 minute and see how high it goes. Um, Now, sometimes even it can only be a
You
small
mean the
percentage.
rectification? You mean the rectification percentage? How high that goes?
Exactly. And
Okay.
usually within 1 minute, and there's sometimes if I'm running it on myself, and Ariel, you can explain this better, but the Genius works on different timing than our physical timing. So it's that whatever that
Mm,
dimension is that isn't bound by time.
sure,
I
working
find,
on the etheric dimension, yeah,
yeah,
on the etheric body.
I find that sometimes within seconds, to like 30 seconds, 10 to 30 seconds, I can make a shift. And I think it's Ryan that said, you don't have to run it and run it and run it. You want to tickle. You want to give your immune system and your body and your system a tickle to wake it up, and then let it take it from there. So you don't,
Eh,
it's such a time saver because literally all you have to do is do something for typically a minute or less and move on and go
Can
on
you
with your
tell
day.
us anything about the magnify your purpose on the skin in particular? Now, if you can't see the screen, what I'll let you know happened is that we ran it for 1 minute and we got the immediate response that your client has responded positively from just 1 minute of harmonizing, which matches exactly what you had described.
Yeah, it goes back to it's Dr. Harper here in San Diego, who's one of the world's best doctors, is one of the I have had appointments with him where I'll go and I'll be like, okay, I've got these 20 things wrong. And he'll look at me and he'll say, well, he said, let's look at these 20 things. If we balance just this one thing, everything is going to shift. And
Hmm.
the Genius allows you to get to that tip of the pyramid. because that's really all that matters. Is all the other stuff is, it's like good, better, best. By using the progressive insights, you can get to the best within seconds.
That is absolutely fantastic. That's great.
Yeah, it's I can't say enough about how this has transformed our lives, on how quickly I can literally change anything. And but the problem is when you have like Carolyn Mine's work is absolutely brilliant, but I don't have you. I can be intuitive, but when it's 209, I think it's 290 points. When it's that many points, sometimes you can get to the good and the better, but when you really get to that best, that's where you get the real transformation.
Well, I think that's why this actually works so well, is it's all of her combinations, which she developed through muscle testing. And I do highly recommend, in the link, you can find the link to Carolyn's website. I highly recommend you get the book, because the book has these charts, which are her charts. She's come up with those particular charts. So definitely order the book, and it will help you. It'll explain the philosophy behind the panels. Kelly and I are also developing some additional materials. So whatever you get today, you'll get those additional materials, and we'll be offering some training that'll be included as well. So you can feel confident if you decide that you want to just start playing with this, using it, because it is so powerful. Is there anything you can tell us about Sarah on the emotional point?
Well, Sarah is usually for especially on the emotional point, is that someone, in fact, that's one of the oils on points that was really affecting Anna's mom.
And isn't it from past abuse, or?
Yes, it can be past, like current abuse, or it can be in your DNA. And that's the beauty of the genius and the layers that it gets into. And when you transform that emotional point, and that, in fact, there was one time, I think that the emotional point and the amygdala are somehow related. And there was at one point when I was helping Anna, she had said, I think it's okay for me to say this, but she texted me and she goes, Kelly, this was weeks after we transformed her mom, but her mom kind of went through a dip, and she goes, Kelly, I don't know what to do. My mom is crying. She's crying and crying and crying, and I can't get her to stop. Opened up the genius, and it was that emotional point that was out, ran it for a minute, and Anna texted me back. She goes, okay, she's totally fine now.
It was that same Sarah. Was it same Sarah point?
Yeah, exactly.
Sarah on the emotional point.
Yes, yes.
It's interesting that you've learned so much. You've been able to sort of learn across the group of people that you've been testing. You've learned a lot about these points and what the points can actually achieve, and why sometimes they come up for people.
Well, Carolyn's work is absolutely brilliant. I've found anyone who uses Young Living, her acceptance on the ilium will completely clear, because I have Epstein-Barr. In fact, that's another thing that the genius helped me identify. I did $1,000 blood test. They couldn't figure out why I had elevated liver enzymes. $1,000 blood test came back with nothing. And the genius kept telling me to use Epstein-Barr Apex, Epstein-Barr remedy. And that was what was causing, it was hiding. It wasn't coming up on the blood test. And what I have found is that Carolyn's Young Living acceptance on the ilium will take you from Epstein-Barr level 6, which is how the medical medium, he has different levels, and 6 is the worst. It's the absolute worst. Acceptance on the ilium opens that door. You go from level 6 to level 1 or 2. I mean, that, and think about that's great. You can go through the whole medical medium book, and you can do his protocol, which lasts like months and months and months, or you can just put an oil on a point and move on.
That is
So
absolutely amazing. That is so incredible. You know what's interesting that just happened is we have 40 items of the different oils on points in the tray. And every time we've run it, we've gotten a that your client has responded positively, which means she's completely assimilated that particular one frequency, which is really powerful. But here's something you can't make up. For some reason, humility on the pancreatic duct point has come up 2 times at the very top. Do you have
oh,
any thoughts about that?
um, you know what? Let me see if I have my book. This is the beauty. It's really good to have the book because
Hmm.
then you can go back and reference. So let me look up
So
and the
those
way that
every humility on all those oils on points are defined in the book. That's how you've learned so much about them.
well, I'll look at, okay, so where is the point? What is the oil? And then
You're the one who makes the interpretation and puts them together then. Okay,
yeah,
so
well,
here's the pancreatic duct. Now let me tell you a little bit about this case. This is Sophie's mom is in about in her early 80s, 80 years young, and she's in the hospital. But listen to what they did. She had passed out. They called 911. They took her to hospital. They got her there, and she said she has an infection, and for some reason they presumptively thought it was a gallbladder infection. And so they removed her gallbladder, and it turns out that wasn't where the infection was at all. Talk about needing biofeedback. And it's interesting that it keeps coming up near the pancreatic duct because that would be in sort of close to that whole the gallbladder duct and the pancreatic duct connect. And so it's sort of in that general area.
so oh yeah. Okay. So another reason to have your genius is keep all your organs because sometimes our medical system is wonderful if you have a car accident, or as Dr. Harper says, you either need to be in the emergency room putting people back together or you're fighting inflammation.
Mm.
And when you have the gift of the genius, when you're in that situation where there's so many people that I've talked to where, and I've experienced this in our pediatrician. In fact, I don't even go to I go for our annual visit, but I am able to do so much myself that I got so sick of going into the pediatrician and then looking at me where the kids are streaming.
Uh-oh.
Sorry.
Kelly, we're losing you a little bit. But tell us
Um,
about the concussion that happened while you were away in Hawaii, and tell us about that because I know that one of our really wonderful practitioners, our new practitioner, Diana, she says memory stored in the amygdala and only a smell can shift it. And that's really cool. I agree with that to a certain degree, but it's interesting that you just from your experience, not having to prove anything, but just from your experience, it's interesting that you've had a different experience where just the frequency of the oil and naming the point with the genius has caused or evoked the shift.
yeah, it's instant. And we were just my kids were at the water park in Hawaii, and my son, my 15-year-old, slipped and fell, and he was fine at first and then started getting dazed and confused as the day went on. And I thought, oh boy, I better do something. Tested, went in and tested him. He needed release on the top of his head on the seventh chakra. And he literally went from like, couldn't focus, dazed and confused, ran it for a minute. And, and he completely came out of it. Now,
Mm.
there's a friend of his at school who had a concussion last year, and this student had 6 months of like eye problems and couldn't had to be on a reduced school schedule, low homework. Now, low homework is a good thing for a high school student, but I literally was able to transform that, and I made sure that he had anyone who uses crystal energy, Phi Sciences crystal energy, it immediately hydrates you. So I had him drink the crystal energy. It's like 20 or 30 drops in a glass of water, and that completely hydrates you. Totally fine. Went from dazed and confused to totally fine. So, I mean, what kind? I can't say enough about what I am able to do um, on a daily basis. So I and Ariel, and I have to thank you, Ariel, because you have taught me how to do the same things that our brilliant world-class doctors do. And the genius puts it in my hands.
I mean, you've brought something wonderful too. So it's been a teamwork effort. Your passion, and you're using it. You're in the field using it every day for your, using it for your family. Oh, there's a misspelling here, but we'll correct all of that and get it all updated. But Ravinsara, is that the right oil on the brain occiput point?
Let's see, I've got my book out right here.
So people are actually saying they're ordering the Carolyn Mine book while we're on the call today. So I love that. I'm so glad. And order it from her website if you can versus Amazon. Oop, we're getting some feedback.
Yeah, her work is just, I cannot say enough about it. Literally, I was spending $10,000 to $15,000 a year with an absolutely brilliant, we would walk in with crazy things. In fact, this doctor cleared a friend of mine was pregnant, had a baby that had congenital kidney problems that the doctors told her would never heal. This particular doctor healed the baby in utero. That's how brilliant this doctor is. The genius and the Carolyn Mine together have put that power in my hands.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I mean, it's amazing. And like I said, whether it's next week or in the next 2 weeks, we're going to do some free training on this so that people can understand how to use the panel, if that's okay with you, Kelly, as your schedule allows. And we'll get into this on a more, on a deeper level. But in case people want to just jump right in with both feet and start using it, and every time, except for one time that we ran the frequency for her at the very top for 1 minute, it went to complete rectification in terms of what you really need to do for that frequency. I think the only one that didn't go might have been the purification on the bacterial point, which means that kind of says to me that there may be sort of an intransigent infection going on that she's dealing with.
Yeah, and by clearing that bacteria point, it is going to allow her to move that infection out so much faster.
Okay, that's really good. Can you tell us anything about harmony on the brain point?
Let's see. Let me look at.
Now, didn't you also you used it when one of the kids fell on the trampoline as well, and throughout the back?
Okay, so here's an example, and my phone might die because we got in late last night and I couldn't find my charger. 2 years ago, my son is the closing pitcher on his baseball team, and they had the baseball party a couple nights before the actual season was over. They had the playoff games and they needed him to pitch. He was on a trampoline at the party and went up to do a flip, didn't commit to it, and came down on his neck and his shoulder. Couldn't walk, got up, could walk sort of, but was in a lot of pain. I cleared a lot out right there, but not having 100% confidence in my husband looked at me and he goes, Kelly, he needs to pitch tomorrow. You need to clear all that out of him now. And I was like,
he needs to pitch tomorrow.
I was like, okay, let me try, but I don't know that I can do it. I didn't have the confidence in myself. So I took him to that particular doctor I was telling you about. And I had my phone open as she was doing her release points. And I sat there and I watched things clear. And I was like, okay, I totally could have done this myself. And I think it was one was peace and calming on the nerve point, which is literally right where your neck connects to your backbone. And that's for being a victim. And I sat there and I watched the points clear as she was doing her thing, and she is absolutely brilliant. But I sat there and I was like, okay, I could have done this myself. But the pressure of my husband being like, he has to pitch tomorrow. So, but so that just confirmed for me that I was on the absolute right track and I could do it myself. So I don't think we've been back since then. So, but so for it, I just can't say enough for anyone who has anything that any kind of stress, anything that they're trying to identify. Oh my gosh, the genius does it all.
So when we do those trainings and we record them, Kelly, we'll actually make sure that everybody who gets this today will get those videos, and then we'll add the videos to be part of the product so that they can have the benefit of having the training, but also your passion and your experience for using it is really brings something special to it. So thank you so much for that.
Yes, I can't say enough, and thank you for everything that you do to the conciseness of your training and how you put things together and make it so usable is it just lots of gratitude.
Back at you.
So thank you.
Thanks so much, Kelly. Very, very cool. I'm so glad that she was able to join us today because she just is coming back from Thanksgiving vacation in Hawaii and was able to make that work. So thank you so much, Kelly, because I want to get this out as quickly as possible now that I understand it. Actually, for a really long time, I could not understand the Carolyn Mine book. We could open it and close it, open it and close it. And it was really Kelly that by taking the painstaking entry of over 250 entries that is actually in this panel. So there are over 250 items, which is a combination of the oils on the point, which is why I think that the panel is even more powerful because it goes through so many of these oil on point combinations, and then you get to a level of specificity in the combination. So it's a more precise frequency. I think that's what's happening here. So that is really quite amazing. And it's been very fascinating to see the different things that are coming up for Sophie's mom. And I think it'll be really exciting to see how her mom does today. I may be able to she's in France. I may be able to reach her and see if we've been able to help in some way. Now, people are asking about Carolyn's website, and I believe I linked it. If you go to the link on the Awaken website, I thought I linked it here. Oh, why did I think I did? Yes, here it is. Okay, I did. I just couldn't see it. Okay, releasing emotional patterns with essential oils. And if you click on here, it will go to her website, right to the order link for that book. So that's how you can get to it. And sorry, we can't really see, but it's her body type website. Carolyn is amazing, brilliant, and I think that the combination of the genius with her book is what makes it really special. So I think understanding the oils more, how they work on the point. She muscle tested for all of these to see what things went together and then explains them more in the book. But Kelly took the time to do those 250 entries, but also has been out testing this and really seeing the difference that it can make. And then the charts that you'll want are her proprietary information, and they're in the book. So you'll want to get the book for that reason as well. So you can look at those charts and really learn where those points are. So I think the combination of the two will be absolutely fantastic. Let's do one last one here, and then we'll check the aura. There were a couple of questions I just want to answer, and you guys, if you have any other questions, Jane from Florida, she asked a great question, which is in Progressive Insights, what are the, sorry, I'm getting all those emails are coming through. In Progressive Insights, what are the boxes you would check off on the left? So the last final one is helichrysum on the eustachian tube point. That sounds like it's working with something with the brain or possibly an infection. And I'm feeling really positive about doing these. Like I feel just intuitively that we may be doing something very, very powerful by using these particular frequencies. So thank you again to Kelly to masterminding this and bringing this, making it available to the greater community. So the boxes to the left are applicable to the functional zones. Let's do one more balancing here. I'm going to switch back to the other iPad in a moment, and we'll just go through the functional zones. I do have a blog post that I can send to anyone. I need to add it to the Awaken website. So if you're interested in learning more about the functional zones, it's in my mastery guide. So Jane, if you have my mastery guide, go look at that. And if anybody wants the article on functional zones, then go ahead and send me an email or go to the website. You guys see, this is my website here, the Awaken Total Health website. If you just go to these two little chat bubbles here, you can chat with me right away. So if you go there and you just click that, then a chat comes immediately to me and I can chat with you, and you can just request that article about the functional zones. So this one didn't come back. This is probably one that needs more harmonizing. I think this is a really powerful point, this helichrysum on the eustachian tube point, because we didn't really get that signal that we're completely done with the frequency. Just for time's sake, I want to go to the aura and see if we've made some changes here. There was just sort of a subtle aura. I'm sure that that Sophie has been running her mother nonstop since she's been in France for a few days. So wow, I don't know what to say about it. It's really interesting. It went from sort of a purple to like this deep crimson kind of energy. Um, it looks very higher vibrational. And so it went from like a purple to this color. That is very interesting. Well, I do think there's a lot moving, and I think that this could be the liver, digestive, infection being worked on as well. So I do think that there's some really positive. This has almost like a really ethereal quality to it, like a very, almost like an angelic, beautiful quality to it. So I do think that we've achieved some positive movement there. What I want to do is I want to move back to the other device so that I can talk about the functional zones, just because it's more relevant based on what we've got in the functional zones. We had Donna's case up here. And then you guys will wind up for the day. So if you have any other burning questions, let me know. And thank you to everyone who participated in the Black Friday, whether you've just downloaded the success panels, or thank you for anything that you've purchased during Black Friday or Cyber Monday. I just thank you for the support of my work. It allows me to continue to do my research in biofeedback. And I, from the bottom of my heart, I sincerely thank all of you for the support during the weekend, but also throughout the year. You guys, thank you so much. This is the best community to be a part of. And it's really fun to know most of you on a first name basis. It's really wonderful. Okay, so back to this particular case. So the functional zones are a series of categories that help you to really tell more about root cause, and including the functional zone energies in your balancing can add a dimension of power and helping to work through things faster. So it's just another tool, and it's down here. And so what we want to do is look for something that's sort of more of a major category, for example, hormones. And we're going to find out more about why are the hormones not as harmonious, not as flowing as they could be? Why are we not having the health that we need? And so we tap on functional zones, and it's going to go through 7 functional zones and give us the priority zone that is connected to the hormones. So you don't really have to use this, but if you want to, it is kind of fun. And so it says tissue regulation. So this has to do with a nutritional, biochemical issue. So we saw the nutritional piece come up for her before. This is often telling us that her digestion could be improved. So we saw nutritional come up before, which is probably more that she's not absorbing her nutrition. And we see it sort of echoed in the tissue regulation zone. So the tissue is not getting the nourishment, the saturation that it needs. And so this very likely leads back to partially digestion. But if we tap on this line again, we can get 2 more hints, which will tell us additional information about the tissue regulation zone and what the likelihood is it's related to these 2 issues that are about to come up. And again, I'm getting some chats now, and you guys are welcome to get more information. We've defined some of these contain a lot of imprinted homeopathic remedies, so they are rather powerful to include in your harmonizing. So pre-degeneration level stress evaluation and pre-degeneration level 2 stress evaluation would seem, you're probably looking at that. and going, what in the world is that about? How is that helpful in telling the story? But what it means is it goes back to what I said before we talked to Kelly about Donna's case, which is this is a long-term emotional stress issue. So the most important thing is to begin to manage the stress better, to clear the stress out, to do some meditation, to make the spiritual connection. It is the stress that is affecting the brain, particularly at the hippocampus. Long-term stress is probably a huge factor when people are looking at why they're losing ground with their brain function. So short-term memory is the first to go when you're long-term stress. You want to make it a priority, whatever's going on in your life. You're not going to put up with being subjected to long-term stress. You're going to do whatever you can to change the circumstances of your life so that stress is not something you have to be exposed to unnecessarily. And for the positive stresses of your life, or the just the run-of-the-day stressors, that you do some meditation and yoga and things that help you to manage your stress. Even doing something fun during your day, right? Doing something, maybe, learning art or music or whatever expression you like, or going out and taking a walk, doing something that you really enjoy doing. Those can also be stress relievers. And people who are caregivers and healers and so forth, sometimes we forget to do those things. But this is telling us that the tissue regulation zone is disrupted through long-term emotional stress. Sorry, it's going to go to a deeper level and it's going to change now. But that's what happened. The first reading that we got is really the significant one, and I'm just going to pop right out of there because it's not as significant. So that's what's going on, and that's related to the hormones, and it's related to the brain, which was the thing that she was asking about in the first place. So hopefully that gives you, we can do one more, because why not? It's like a potato chip, you can't just do one. We could do one more, and so, but you want to look for an overarching category. You want to look for sort of the mesencephalon would be good, the parietal lobe would be good, something that you can sort of get it's more of a major category. So hormones is a really good one. Digestion would be another good one to run the functional zone on. So you don't want it to be too specific. You really don't want to run a functional zone on a remedy necessarily, because that doesn't make a lot of sense. You're looking for a root, more of an overarching story. You're looking for the continuation of the story. Now that's really interesting that it goes back to the tissue regulation zone. Now, we also have immune zone and microorganism zone. So related to digestion means there probably is some type of a gut bug, and that the foods or the stress is affecting the immune system. And you know that a major part of the immune system rests in the digestive system. So for fun, let's go to the microorganism zone and see, it may come up with a parasite or a bacteria or a virus stress. And you can add these to your harmonizing, to your progressive insights, because these contain homeopathics to clear these particular issues. So parasite stress evaluation, we definitely want to include it. So now we've learned something. We've learned something new. And Jane, I'm really glad you asked the question, because this is a place for questions as well. I know we do live cases, but really this is to answer your questions about the genius. So come next time, be prepared, bring all your questions to class. This is an active community of doing live cases, talking about how the genius works, answering your questions, because we don't want you to just acquire the genius and then go off on your merry way. We want to be with you to continue to carry the momentum and carry the excitement and help you to support your passion. So the digestion there, we learned, very interesting, that it's really related to parasites. Kind of interesting. Oh, where's the high priority? There they are. That the parasites were something we didn't really know about. And don't forget, you guys, that parasites are it's never about the bug. It's never about the infection. It's about the terrain. So if you're consuming a lot of meat and you're stressed, so you're not digesting food very well, it becomes a good breeding ground for the parasites, right? So always think it's not, you're trying to kill the bug, kill the bug, kill the bug, but what are the circumstances or the environment that the bug grew in? That's what's really important, whether it's a virus, a bacteria, parasite. So you want to think about that, because a lot of people get really crazy about, I gotta do the parasite cleanse, I gotta do the parasite cleanse, but how did the parasite get there in the first place, and how did it thrive? Karen says, that was a great question about the functional zone. Thank you, Jane, for that. And what buttons are you pressing in Progressive Insights, says Susan. It's the functional zone consideration that you start with. It's this black bar at the bottom of the page. Okay, so Wendy says, amazing information. Susan says, thank you. And Diana says, it feels like the clearing is very, very deep. And helichrysum is means immortal. Okay. And you can also look at Judith. Hey, Judith, good to have you here. Judith says we could also look at the emotions and then look to the book to see the point, like regret is in the tonsils. I had my tonsils removed when I was 13. All right. Very, very good, you guys. So let's just sort of get final questions here. And Dale, thanks for being here. Thank you so much. Okay, so in closing, a wonderful case to work on. Thank you, Donna, who's one of our newest practitioners. And thank you, Kelly, for bringing us this wonderful information. If not next week, then definitely in the next couple of weeks, we're going to be working on this Carolyn Mine information and getting more information from Kelly. That information will be free to everyone who has gotten the Carolyn Mine package. So thanks, everyone. Have a wonderful day today. Be in touch with me through the chat or the website, or call me, text me, email me, however I can help you. And have an absolutely wonderful day. Take care, everyone, and be well. Bye-bye for now.